Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios and 10-Minute Tuesday. And I think I've got the dimensions for this all figured out so that we can do this in under 15 minutes total. And you will find all the measurements for this card on my blog, and the blog link is listed in my information down below. Before we go to the card, I want to show you, we did the tassel yesterday, and I wanted to show it in completion. I have strings tangled here. But there's my chipboard. And I still need to trim this. Let's do that while I'm thinking about it. And I'm doing this on my glasses, so let's hope I don't cut something I shouldn't. There we go. And I've put a little bit of a clear glue on top and then trim my gold cording. Once the glue dried on the end of that string, I was able to string and tie off the rest of my beads. And let's keep this off out of the way. And that's done. And I wanted to show you, this is my binder that I'm using. And I know it's a little shiny, but this tab on the end of the paper clip will slide right over the edge of my binder. So I don't have to have an eyelet or a bulb clip or anything like that to attach my tassel to the binder. So there we go. Okay, we are working with this sketch from Split Coast number 283. And I will, if I can find the link for this one, I will also have it linked down below, or at least in the description box on the blog post. And I've decided to work with, the neat thing about 10-Minute Tuesday is I'm not limited to current Stampin' Up! Items. I can go back and I can use some of my older papers. So, we are using this current fall stamp set called Life is Beautiful. And it is from our $1 Million Sales Club person. She designed this, and I thought this was really cute. And this is the card we're going to make. And I'm going to show you something else we're going to do here. I'm going to go back and I want to put leaves just individually here, but the leaf stamp is all in a cluster, just like this. So I want to go back and do individual leaves and put them on there. I may even cut that photopolymer stamp apart and just give myself a couple of individual leaves on a small block stamp, and I'll show you how we'll do that if we have time. So this is the one we're going to do, and I have chose to use Painted Autumn, which was from our holiday catalog. Goodness, in 2017. Wow. And so that's the stamp we're going to use. That's the paper we're going to use today. And we are using a So Saffron cardstock as our base. And then from the Painted Autumn, this is a two-sided. We're going to use this, both sides of this. This first piece for the background is cut 4 by 5 1/4. That means that it gives us that 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So we need to cut this, and it doesn't matter the direction of this one. So we're going to cut this. Does this go 5 1/4? Not quite. So let's go 5 1/4 here by 4 inches. And our glue. The one thing about the sketches is most of them do not have the dimensions on them. So I have to go through and make a card and figure out the dimensions before I can show them to you. Now, if you want some of these sketches with the dimensions already figured out for you, go follow Christy Marcotte's channel. She does some awesome cards where she uses sketches and 6x6 paper pads to make 40 and 50 cards out of that one paper pad at a swipe. And it's really cool to just sit and watch her process. Okay, now from this one, it will be this pattern here, but this piece isn't big enough. We need to cut. Let's see, I might have one here. I thought about using that, and it was just too dark. So we're going to use this. This piece gets cut, and you want to make sure you pay attention to your direction. This gets cut 3.5 inches square. I don't think this one made the 3-inch mark. Nope. 3.5 inches square. Okay. And then it's going to go right there. Lost track of my glue. Oh, it's a beautiful morning in the Ozarks. It's 66 degrees, very overcast, very damp. But Bob and I enjoyed time on the deck this morning, drinking coffee as I filmed this on Monday morning. See, this one goes over here. And we leave about the same amount of room on these 3 sides, because this side is going to get covered. So I really wasn't in any hurry to come in off the deck this morning. We fed the chipmunk, we had coffee, we had breakfast. Okay, then I'm taking this page. Now this is a modeling, and I want more of the, I want to make sure I get a piece that has more of the corn kernel to it. And it gets cut 5.5 because it goes from edge to edge on the card. Okay, by 2 inches. And again, I have to make sure of the direction. I want the corn kernels this way, so I need to make sure that I cut it at the 5.5. So my corn kernels are going the right direction by 2 inches. Just like that. And then from this piece over here, this piece here, we need very vanilla cardstock, cut at 2.5 inches by 3 3/4. And I can get the 3 3/4 out of there, and I can get the 2.5 inches out of here. Okay, and that will be what we will stamp our tree on. Now, before we put this into place, we want to go ahead and stamp it first. And I learned by trial that this has to come all the way over to this far edge. I am using Early Espresso and the sentiment "Life is Beautiful" from that stamp set. We're going to come all the way over here and we're going to center that. There we go. And then we can glue it into place. If I glue these pieces into place as I go, they don't get lost on the messy desk. And I've been crafting on a fly in a hurry to get videos up and done this last weekend, and it's a messy desk for sure. Okay, now, where is my pick tool? Because I can't get a hold of that piece of paper. And then, remember, it has to go all the way over to the edge of your card. Just like that. Okay, and then we're going to set it aside, and we're going to come back as soon as I find where I laid my piece of Very Vanilla that I just cut. It's here somewhere. Okay, I'm sure you can see it from your vantage point, so if you see my piece of Very Vanilla somewhere, let me know. In the meantime, there it is. It's stuck to the back of the card. There we go. Okay, so for this one, this card has to go this way. And we are stamping the tree with the Early Espresso. How are we doing on time? 8 minutes. If we can do this in 15 minutes, I will show you my other trick here. And I just went with where I could get the most of the tree limb in there, not so much worried about the trunk. There's our tree. And then for our leaves, I went with an old D. Gruenig tip of when you want multiple colors off of a stamp, use your markers and just randomly go in and color the individual placements. And if you want a leaf or something that has a two-tone, I didn't bring a green with me. But if you if you color your first color, and then the color that you want to accent or show on the top, go back over your color with that. Okay, so there's our cherry cobbler. And then I have pumpkin pie. Get some of our oranges in there. And then I came back in with crushed curry. I think that's a crushed curry, yep. I never thought to look to see if I had this and sew saffron and follow that color code through. And then we got to have a few dry leaves in here. So I'm coming back in with soft suede. And we'll color some of these other leaves. Now you might think that as you're coloring these, your first colors are going to begin to dry. And this is where the Dee Gruenig tip comes in. She had the huffing technique where you just take your stamp and huff on it like you're mad at somebody. And that's all it takes. And then I went with this here. And then I came back in with other colors and just kind of twisted and turned the stamp. So I got some other colors in there, filled in the gaps. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and glue this in, and then I have time to show you my other trick. Actually, let's not glue it on yet. Let's show you the trick first. Okay, I'm going to take this stamp, and where I have some coming off the side, I'm going to take and I'm just going to snip that stamp apart. And I think I want to I'm going to cut into this one and just kind of cut this row apart. Just like this. I know, sacrilege to cut your stamps, but it really isn't. And you get some really neat effects when you do this technique. Okay, and then see those 3 leaves? They would fit or dangle right into there. And we're going to take and come back with those. And we'll do one with the cherry cobbler. The crushed curry. And let's do a brown one in here. Give it a huff. And then you can position some leaves right on your tree. And let's do that one more time. And I've left my caps off of here for, let's do one over here that's got a pumpkin. Fresh pumpkin, got a little bit of orange to it. And see how that'll let that fit right in there. And then let's try and come back and do this one here and get a little bit of a little color. And that's how easy it is to do, to design your stamps to fit what you want them to do. Okay, let me cap these really quick. We will get this glued into place. And this will be our 10-minute Tuesday card. I want to thank everybody for joining me in the studio today. There will not be a Design Team Thursday video. I am leaving in a couple of hours for a writer's retreat, and I'm not going to be able to videotape the Thursday Design Team. But I should, if all goes well, before I leave on Thursday, I should be able to have you a Friday freebie card up. So there is our card. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and to check out the video for all the blog post for all the dimensions and the colors that I used in this. Thanks for joining me in the studio today. Creative blessings.